Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another discussion video. This time I'm going to go over 7 cards that I think are going to be great one day. So I was kind of looking through my collection binders. I have like one for every color. I'm kind of an organized nerd like that. I have one for every color, and with the anniversary box stuff and the WMAT power booster stuff, I was putting new stuff in my collection binders, and I just came across these cards that I really feel like are gonna be good one day. I feel like they just have the potential to be great. They just need like a little bit more support or a specific type of interaction just to really get over that competitive hump, right? I think these cards are gonna be really great one day. So we're talking a little bit about them, talk about what might enable these cards to be really good in the future, and yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about any of these cards that I bring up, by the way. So before we get into the video, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with the awesome Dragon Ball Super content that I post here. If you're looking for a Dragon Ball Super community to get plugged into, check out the Discord in the description below. And finally, guys, if you're longtime fans of the channel, want to help support the channel, or if you want to get ready for the ARG Invitational 2019 coming up at this weekend, check out the Patreon in the description below. Lots of competitive content, really helps the channel out. With that being said, we're gonna get into this video. So first card you're gonna see big on the left here, the Sun Gohan Universe 7 Leader. So this is at a Tournament of Power, a set possibly long forgotten except for like Victory Strike and maybe for seeing hit, but a lot of the other stuff isn't being played too much right now. So we're gonna read what this guy does real quick, and I'm gonna talk about why I think this guy is gonna be great one day. So on both sides, he has Warrior of Universe 7, which basically treats all Universe 7 cards as if they had no specified cost. Auto once per turn. On the Unawakened side, when you combo the U7 battle card from your battle area, during your turn, you draw 2. So there's an insane amount of draw power there. So the main way you abuse that is by using certain 1-drops like Ready to Fight Son Goku, or the 2-drop Piccolo that searches a Gohan, basically, so you get that +1 in card advantage, and then you combo them away for a straight draw 2. So if you're able to see those guys, you get a ton of card advantage really quickly. The main curve of the deck, like I said, is that Ready to Fight Son Goku, and then you have the 2-drop Piccolo, and then if you really have to in a pinch, you can play something like the 1-drop Roshi Negate. That's Universe 7, combo that away, but you're not getting that clean plus there, so that's kind of unfortunate. Once you awaken with this guy, you untap 2 energy, and then on the backside he has a Warrior of Universe 7. You can combo Universe 7 cards in a battle area in rest mode, which is pretty neat. And then once per turn, when you combo the Universe 7, the same thing, you draw 2. So you actually, on your awakened turn, because he's not an attack draw leader, because he activates during an auto when something triggers, being the Universe 7 combo, you can draw 2 cards on both sides in one turn. So you get like a draw 4 turn. So if you play Ready to Fight Son Goku, attack, combo it away, draw 2, awaken, maybe attack with a burst attack Son Gohan, combo that away on another swing with something else, you're going to draw 4 cards, and you can actually attack with that burst attack and then combo with it, because like I said, he lets you combo with battle cards in rest mode. So to me, incredibly powerful. And I was actually testing this deck with Danny Wynn about a few weeks ago. He was playing a variant with the red-green engine splashed in for the dual color Gogeta, because basically your deck is 5 color when you're playing all the Universe 7 cards when your super combo's red. So you have that hard plus there, and then you're able to play the Gogeta 5-drop dual color card. I really think this deck needs another clean 1-drop that gets some type of advantage, whether it's just a U7 cantrip, just a U7 draw 1, maybe a U7 counterplay, something like Mutaito, maybe something like the new Supreme Kai out of the anniversary box, something that comes into play, maybe draws a card, maybe doesn't draw a card. If it was a counterplay, I'd be a lot more okay with it not drawing a card, because it would probably have some type of powerful effect, maybe negating a skill, maybe negating an attack, maybe putting something to rest mode when they play it, something along those lines. But if it was a less reactive card, it was just a 1-drop, a cantrip would be really cool. Maybe something like Dende, where you get to banish a card from your deck and then you get it back in maybe the next turn, or maybe 2 turns from then. I think that'd be really neat. So I think this guy is just one more 1-drop away from being ultra consistent in being able to just play a really aggressive strategy, just playing your sensu beans into 1-drop kabas, but just getting that raw combo power advantage. So I really think this guy's on the brink of greatness. Then we have Hyper Rush Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. This guy just got a ton of support with the anniversary box, and I really think this guy is waiting to be cracked. I really think that the Vegito deck can top. One of my close testing buddies was playing around with it. He was playing the green Vegito leader, playing the new red Vegito from the anniversary box, playing the champion pack Vegito that lets you play Hyper Rush from your hand, because when you fuse into him, you get the draw 2, so you get that replacement of the Goku and the Vegeta. And when you activate main, you can play this Hyper Rush Vegito right on top of him. So if you're playing some type of ramp strategy, or even if you just charge 3 greens, you can fuse right into this guy, which is really powerful in my opinion. This guy is a powerhouse of a card. So normally you can Unimator into him for 5 colorless. He has triple strike, auto. When this card is when you play this card, if your leader is a Vegito, so that could be any Vegito, but I think that the green one's the best because it does actually gain advantage, and you don't really need the dual color aspect of the red Vegito leader. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and up to one of the cards in your opponent's hand, place in the drop area. So that's a -2 to the opponent. Then you draw 2, so that's a +2 for you. And then you may choose 2 cards in your life and add to your hand. So there's a little bit of self-awakening. So doing that on turn 3 is actually a really good way to self-awaken if you need to. Later game 2, if this guy's going to be your game-winning shot, you can just take as much life as you need just to get more cards to your hand and go for game that way. So I think this card's waiting to be cracked. So I think this guy's going to see success pretty soon with that new Vegito. The new Vegito is really, really strong. Then we have Agarn, Premonition of Evil. So this is actually among the first wave of power boosters. I think this deck, this whole strategy is waiting to be broken as well. I just think it's not the right format for it. So I think what really holds back a deck like this is something like Victory Strike. I think Victory Strike makes it very, very difficult to play the mono blue Agarn deck. However, once you can get the 9-drop on board, that thing has barrier, and every single turn it's a negate just by ditching a card from your hand. So it's a -1 essentially, but you're basically turning any card in your hand into basically like Oasis Coercion or Dimension Magic. And then the 9-drop Agarn comes back and rips a card off your opponent's board and hand. So basically you're going to be +1ing every single time you negate an attack with that. I think the main thing that holds this engine back from being good is something like Victory Strike, because you don't have a ton of inherent self-awaken. You will probably play Tapions that do take life, but your negate Agarn, your 9-drop, isn't really going to do much to Victory Strike because it can't be negated. I think this deck would actually have a really good time against Janemba if we're considering Janemba the other pillar of the format, because your leader basically inherently hand controls them, and every single time you negate an attack with a 9-drop, like I said, you're ripping a card out of their hand. If they have any 1-drop weenie cantrips on the board, they're going to lose those as well. So I think this card and this deck basically is waiting for the right format, because I think that the 9-drop Agarn can really outgrind a lot of the top strategies right now. Even like something like Skillless, negate a 30k, rip a card out of their hand, just play the long grinding game with them. I think this leader and this deck can do it very well. So I would probably play something like Objection on turn 2, going into this and the 9-drop on turn 3. So doing that on turn 3 would be also just incredibly powerful, because he's a blocker, but you're never really going to use that. Permanent, if you have one or more copies of both Tapion and Minosha in your drop area and a Phantom Demon card is not in play in your battle area, play this card for free and then use EX Evolve the 9-drop right on top of them. So I think that's going to be really powerful given the right format, just not this format with Victory Strike running around so rampantly. Next up, a card that a lot of people think is really bad, but I think is actually really good. So Trunks, Forerunner of Hope. Auto at the end of your turn, if your leader card is blue, which there are of course a ton of great blue leaders, you may choose one battle card in your energy other than this card that is blue and no other colors, has an energy cost of 3 or less and 15k power or more, and play it. If you do, add this card to your energy. So this might not seem like the most influential card because it happens at the end of the turn, but in my opinion, it's actually really powerful, because it's sort of a way to play around TN in the sense that you can end your turn by putting this in your energy in active mode, and then you get to play a powerful 3-drop from your energy and basically leave it in active mode, so it kind of just stays protected, right? You know, as long as your opponent doesn't have a way to remove it with an effect, or maybe the card has barrier itself, like Preface of Recovery Son Goku. You're basically putting a card on the board that's going to be protected going into your turn 4, and you're going to have energy up to defend it, being this Trunks, right? I think it's really nifty to do something like bring this guy into play at the end of your turn, bring him into your energy, play Comrades Combined Son Goku, play the Goku will be in active mode, so it won't be threatened to be attacked, and then you can look at the top 7, maybe hit a Deadly Defender Vegeta, maybe hit a Surprise Attack Vegeta, just something that's going to really hinder your opponent's game plan, right? And it's going to be a little bit less easy for them to interact with it on their own turn after you use this guy's effect. So I think this guy's also waiting for basically the right deck. If blue just gets like a little bit, maybe a better 3-drop than Comrades Combined, I think this card could be very, very good. So if I was you, I would definitely pick this card up. Maybe when more champion packs get released at more events. I imagine this card will be very, very cheap, just like the current, or I guess last year's champion pack. So something to consider. Solar Flare is the yellow card that I think will be great one day. Maybe not in the current format, maybe not in the next format, but I do think this card will be very, very great one day. You know, this card does struggle against the face of something like Victory Strike. It does struggle against something like Janemba. This format with Janemba and Victory Strike being the 2 pillars, negates aren't the most impactful cards out there, but this card is giving some, like, you know, small cantrip or something, maybe with like yellow, if something with yellow gets revenge in the future, this card giving those things blocker just provides a lot of value. It's you know, we really like the 2-for-1 negate attack stoppers, right? So something like Is It All You Got, something like After Image, decreasing another battle card when you use it. Those things that stop multiple attacks for one card are really high value. We do like Nimbus. Nimbus is really good, but Nimbus can be a harder neg than something like Solar Flare, because, you know, Nimbus, you're going to discard the card itself and then another card to stop the additional attacks from happening. But Solar Flare, you're going to lose Solar Flare when you use it, and then you're going to give blocker to something on the board, ideally that already replace itself, maybe like a 1-drop Bulma that drew a card, something like that. So you're not really losing out too much, and you're stopping 2 attacks. So we really like when these cards have multiple utilities like that. Next up, we've got King Piccolo, Evil, ambitions. So this is the 1-drop red power booster that basically came out with all the wish support. Right now, this is probably the least playable one out of them all. If I do say so myself, in my opinion, I think even the Vegeta is a little bit more playable than this. But basically, all this card needs is a really good red Shenron leader, right? We just don't have one. The only one we have right now is Oolong, and Oolong is very, very basic. He doesn't do anything too crazy on the backside. His ulti does draw 3 cards, which is pretty neat, but I think we need one that's just a little bit better for this card to be really good. And I think this card could even outclass something like Oob, because basically when you play this card, if you lead as a red Shenron, choose 3 Dragon Balls from your deck, place them in the drop area. Then if you place cards in your drop area, choose a King's Return to Youth from your deck, activate it, and then shuffle your deck. So basically the King's Return to Youth is just going to activate itself and search another copy of itself, or it's going to search a King Piccolo. And maybe your win con isn't the King Piccolo package, but it is basically a free plus, right? So you basically get to activate King Return to Youth and then search another copy of King Return to Youth and plus, so that you're not necessarily negging like Oob, although Oob does have the ability to pop 1-drops. If they don't have a 1-drop, it is just kind of a flat neg, right? This card can at least replace itself and stick around on the board for a 5k combo later on. So I do think that's pretty nifty. And Shenron Wishing Anew, this card is one of the black cards I do think can be great one day, because it's basically just generic removal for any deck, but it also recycles desires, right? So the thing with Shenron decks is, Shenron decks can't really play a grindy game for a few reasons. Most of the Shenron decks just have like certain turn win conditions, like Shenron Gogeta, slam Gogeta down turn 4, win the game. Something like Chilai Head of Mastery, play Head of Mastery on 4, untap an energy with a World Peace somehow, and then play a Victory Strike, right? So basically Shenron decks are very much just mid-range win condition decks, but Shenron decks haven't really been able to grind out for that reason, and also because they just go through their decks so fast that you can't play an extended game against something like Janemba. You can't even play an extended game against something like Skillless, because you'll just potentially, if you're playing toe-to-toe with them, you'll deck out turns before they'll deck out, right? But this card, Shenron Wishing Anew, if Shenron leaders and Wish decks get the ability to grind better somehow, maybe they get a better like Dangerous Journey Bulma, maybe they get some other way to do that, this card comes in for removal off like World Peace, comes in for free, and you get to recycle a 2-drop Desire. So with Child's Wish being gone, basically the library of 2-drop Desires isn't super great right now. I mean, you can recycle something like a Personal Ambition or something like that, but there hopefully in the future will be stronger things to do. Maybe not as broken as Child's Wish, I hope, but I think that eventually we'll get something more powerful, a better 2-drop Wish to bring back, and maybe Fountain of Spirit will be that if we get better Sands, who knows. But basically guys, these are the cards that I think one day will be great. If I was you, I would pick them up because they are all super cheap right now, especially for any non-foil versions. So just something that I was thinking about today, wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey, welcome to the end card, and thank you so much for sitting through that, because honestly, I'm just doing this until I make a Digimon trading card game. So if you like Dragon Ball Super for some reason, give it a sub up above. Maybe check out some of our other content. And do not forget, Digimon is way better than Pokemon. With that being said, we will see you next time.